What's going on, everybody? You get the Raging Rob here. Days End style pen. Unlike Mongo, I'm a controlled slob. I can control my slobbery. Unlike Mongo, I got my Dunkin' Donuts. Alright, I'm in Kingman, Arizona. A couple of things in the news. I'm on my way to Indiana. Who fucking cares? There's a hurricane coming into Florida. Hurricane Dothan, or the fuck, I can't even pronounce the name. Doran or some shit, I don't know, whatever. I guess nowadays they don't want to be inexclusive and name hurricanes after illegal immigrants. Okay. Next thing, this story is gonna crack your fucking ass. There's a guy in Pennsylvania. Read the story. I guess from what I heard, him and his neighbor have like a bad blood between each other. They don't get along very well. I'm going to talk about this hat. Something happened to me last night with this hat. I'll talk about it after the story. So anyway, this guy in Pennsylvania, Lancaster County, Lancaster, whatever. Their neighbors have a bad feud with each other. Okay. So in a intimidation, whatever he did, he took his hand and he went like this with his finger, his index finger and his thumb, and went bam, with this hand, not a real gun, with his hand, One neighbor called 911. This is the society we live in now. The neighbor, the victim of this felt threatened. If it was me, I would have did it back to him. Grenade. I'm just joking. That could be seen as terrorism. So anyway, the guy was charged with disorderly conduct. He appealed his conviction, and the court upheld his conviction. He's got to pay $100 in court costs. This is the world we live in nowadays, where a hand sign, at least in Pennsylvania, or at least that area of Pennsylvania, can now be threatening. A fucking hand sign. So this is no problem, right? What if I do this? What if I do this? That's a hand grenade. That can be seen as fucking terrorism. What if I do this? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to that area of Pennsylvania, and I'm gonna find a high liberal area, and I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna use my hands as an assault rifle, and I'm gonna at the motorist. But then again, they might charge me with attempted mass shooting, and terrorism threats. And I could be looking at federal felony charges, so I don't want to do that. That's the world we live in! A fucking hand sign! Don't want to do that, because if I do that, they might charge me for a sex offender offense. It's a fucking hand sign. Jesus Christ. It's my fucking... What do we gotta do? We gotta regulate our hands now? They're passing laws to regulate our fucking hands! Jesus Christ. They're gonna regulate the fucking air next? The air we breathe? They're gonna regulate it? Let's get some nice air, man. Let's roll out my window and breathe some nice air. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't pay an air tax. Never mind. Fuck. The new regulation. I got to pay an air tax. I'm gonna suffocate. I need to pay an air tax. I'm gonna suffocate unless I pay an air tax. I gotta pay an air tax. I gotta pay an air tax. We already gotta pay for fucking water. We gotta pay for air next. What are they gonna regulate next? Regulate our fucking hands. Jesus fucking Christ. That's the world we live in now. I better be careful. They might threaten that video. They might flag this video as terrorism. Fuck. And it could be worse. I could hog up the buffet line like Mongo. I could vote for Democrat. That could be worse. My next story, I want to talk to you about my hat. My hat. My hat says, "Don't tread on me." Had a funny thing happen to me last night. I was inside the restaurant. Now, as you know, you've probably seen these military hats, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, whatever. They're black usually, and the lettering on them is kind of, white, sort of like mine. So I'm guessing my hat could be easily mistaked far off in a distance as a military hat. It's not. It says, "Don't tread on me." Okay? It says, "Ready to strike. Don't tread on me." The famous snake, "Don't tread on me." If you've been watching my videos long enough, you know I'm a die-hard conservative. And Trump supporter. You know that I don't really give a fuck what liberals think. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. But anyway, this has nothing to do with the liberal. I was sitting in a restaurant last night, and this older gentleman, about 60 years old, 60 whatever years old, he walks up to me and says, "Thank you for your service." I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute, wait, what? Oh, I thought your hat was a military hat. I'm sorry." I'm like, no, I was never in the military. "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Oh, no good, no problem." He mistakes my hat for a military hat, which I appreciate the guy's courtesy. He supports his troops. I gotta honor that. I gotta respect that. So, anyway, I did almost join the Marines when I was 22. This is right after I got out of truck driving school, and I was debating if I wanted to be a truck driver or not. I walked into the the whatever recruiting center for the Marines. It was originally the Air Force. I was thinking about joining the Air Force, but because I only had a GED diploma, the Air Force referred me over to the Marines, because the Air Force at the time was only taking high school diplomas, not GED, and I dropped out and got a GED. So I walked into the Marine. So they referred me over to the Marines. So I was watching videos, and I didn't sign the paperwork, but I was ready to go. I mean, I'd probably be dead by now if I did join the Marines, because it was at the time when Iraq, 2005 when I was thinking about joining. Or maybe I would have all kinds of mental problems right now and have PTSD and all that anxiety and depression and all that shit from war images or whatever. But I almost joined the Marines when I was 22, 2005. But I continued my trucking career instead. So sometimes I regret it, but sometimes I don't regret it. Anyway, this is Rachel Rob. As always, more videos coming soon.